So chances are you are here and you're trying to be somewhere around here. Which brought you here to this channel. What's good, fam? Clark here from NOT. In this video, I'll be sharing a step-by-step practical framework of how I lost over 20 pounds within a short 10 weeks time frame. In this video, I'll be covering dieting, training, supplements, overcoming plateaus, basically everything you actually need to render similar or better results to ultimately put a dent into your fitness journey. Needless to say, this video might be a bit lengthy, so what I'll do is put timestamps at the bottom for every important segment in this video. It does go without saying, in order to really benefit or learn how to properly implement these practical steps, it is imperative that you see through this video in its entirety. Otherwise, you'll fail to render substantial results. As per usual, I'll also have some bonus material for those of you who stick around.
That's the trick. It's like, okay, I've got tomorrow. If I was going to set it up so it was the best possible day I could have, practically speaking, what would it look like?
Okay, so nutrition and dieting is by far one of the most important parts of transforming your body. So it's crucial that you choose a diet that actually works. Now, if you're trying to choose a diet and you're here on the internet, chances are you've stumbled over a multitude of information on diets such as vegan, keto, vegetarian, paleo, if it fits your macros, carb cycling. A lot of information that can either be misleading or oftentimes just ends up complicating things a lot more than they have to be. So, which diet should you choose? Well, there's a short and long answer. The long and complicated answer is any diet that abolishes the conventional, rigid dieting approach. You can decipher this by asking yourself one of two questions. One, does the diet at hand involve non-negotiable rules in terms of food timing and food choices? Or two, is it solely based on a rigid or inflexible all or nothing eating approach? If you answered yes to any of these questions, chances are the diet at hand is based on a conventional, rigid dieting approach that is highly associated with a lack of successful body weight regulation and even symptoms of eating disorder. Simply put, the more strict your diet is, the more likely you are to break the rules and backslide into food binging or overeating. So the short and simple answer, you should choose a diet that you could follow consistently.
Hand it to him.
Yeah.
Oh, look what he's eating. He's eating 3 hamburgers in one shot. Oh, God, well, who are there's these gladiators?
So I opt for a flexible dieting approach. Now, my flexible dieting approach is not synonymous with the conventional if it fits your macros dieting approach. The if it fits your macros is something that's overly saturated the internet as an umbrella that allows you to eat all the junk food in the world as long as they fit into specific macro targets. Instead, my flexible dieting approach is a framework that plays a pivotal role in altering an individual's eating pattern using the highest level of individualization. Simply put, it's a framework that accounts for these important factors. Available resource, which, let's be honest, it varies depending on where you are in this world. Food preference also varies from individual to individual. Meal timing, we all have a job, we all have different lives, which we should enjoy, and other awareness methods. So putting all these important factors into context, as well as other real life consideration, reinforces the importance of alleviating restrictions and rigidness. Some examples of different flexible dieting approach includes, but are not limited to, tracking portions of food groups, only tracking protein and total calories, developing awareness and hunger and satiety, just tracking proteins, and so on. Bottom line, too much constraints can have adverse effect on your overall progress. So, heavy restrictions, bad. Flexibility and individualization, good.
Prioritize and eat one bite at a time. I apply that to the stress that I'm under these days. I break it all down. I prioritize it. If I can't affect it, I don't even worry about it.
Getting back on track. Now, weight loss at face value is a byproduct of energy in and energy out. Simply put, as long as the net intake of your overall energy is below your overall energy expenditure, you are going to lose weight. So the first thing I did was establishing my nutrition protocol. The framework I use for my transformation is a flexible dieting nutrition protocol where I simply focus on prioritizing both my proteins and caloric intake while being flexible with my carbs and fats depending on my training performance and overall state. So here's a brief overview of getting my macros set up. First step would be determine my 24-hour energy expenditure, or total daily energy expenditure. There's ultimately two effective and efficient ways of doing this. One would be using one of many formulas you can find online, in which case you'd have to do the math, which can create room for marginal errors if you do it wrong. Now, another big con to this approach would be there's math involved. The second option is you can just skip the math and use my free calorie calculator. That'll pretty much just do all the work for you. Link is down below. I personally just go for the second option. It'll save you time, it's effective, efficient. The biggest pro is you don't have to do math. After I determine my 24-hour energy expenditure, I then establish my total daily protein intake. In doing so, I use a 0.8 to 1.4 range, where an individual with leaner body mass can use the higher end of the range, and individuals with a higher fat percentage can opt for the lower end of the range. Another option to keep things simple is just go for 1 gram per pound of target body weight, which would look something like this. I weighed in at 200 pounds, trying to lose 15 to 30 pounds. My short-term goal was 185, which puts my starting daily protein target at 185 grams per day. Pretty simple. Next, we move on to establishing daily fats target. In doing so, I use a 20 to 35% of total energy, which is also the percentage all major health agencies use. Now, some people choose to establish their carbs before their fats, which is okay. I personally choose to do the latter because underscoring your fats can increase the chance of becoming deficient in fat-soluble vitamins, which is just something to keep in mind. Now, using the 20-35% range, individuals with leaner body mass can opt for the lower end of the range, and individuals with a higher fat percentage can opt for the higher end of the range. Putting insulin sensitivity into context, individual with a higher fat percentage may be less receptive to insulin than individual with a lower fat percentage. Simply put, leaner individuals may be able to utilize carbohydrates more efficiently than individuals with a higher fat percentage, which is just something to put into context or consider when establishing dietary fat goals, along with your personal food preference and available resource. So, in a nutshell, using the 20 to 35%, I went with 30% of my total energy, which translated to my daily fat targets being 73 grams per day. With that, what we've established so far is a 24-hour energy expenditure, daily protein targets, and daily fat targets. So what we're going to do is establish the daily carbohydrates, which is pretty simple. All there is to it is using the remaining calories, which are going to be the daily carb targets, which translated to my total daily macro targets being 185 grams of protein, 73 grams of fat, and 200 grams of carbs. Pretty simple. If you like a more detailed step-by-step process, you have any questions or just need some clarity for this process or establishing your macro targets, just let me know in the comments down below and I'll get back to you ASAP.
The owner, the CEO of Navy SEAL training, that was my mindset. And that's how you get through things. You put yourself, you immerse yourself wherever it is, and you become that. You become that and give yourself no way out.
The hallmark of every great fitness enthusiast, personal trainer, and elite bodybuilder alike is their ability to efficiently track, evaluate, and adjust accordingly. Having said that, what really matters is objectively gathering data. By that I mean your ability to track every aspect of both your training and diet is super important. In doing so, you put yourself in the best position to take control of your overall progress and objectively transform your body. Tracking my workout. If I'm on deployment, I'd resort to something like electronic logs or the Notes app on my iPhone to track my training in its entirety. Otherwise, I just use my exclusive fitness app that pretty much takes out all the guesswork, keeping things simple, keeping all the objective data in one place, and more importantly, just keeps me on track. The training split I used for my body transformation was a 5-day training split that looked something like this. On Monday, I did upper body. Tuesday, I did lower body. Wednesday was active rest day. Thursday was a push training session. Friday, pull training session. Saturday was a leg training session, and then I finished off the week with a active rest day. Now, taking things up a notch, to crush my goal at hand, what I ended up doing was bumping up my cardio and introduced Metcon session later on in my transformation training program. This enabled me to optimize my overall energy expenditure, which complemented my progress and overall body composition goal. It's also important to note that this was done putting into context how aggressive I wanted to be with the goal at hand, my activity pattern, work schedule, level of training, and other important factors. I've also helped clients to render similar results using both a 4-day and 3-day training split that work better with their individual needs and personal schedule. So just remember, your overall training requirements may be vastly different from mine. In terms of tracking my diet, I use the MyFitnessPal app along with my exclusive fitness app. More importantly, I make sure I review my meals at the end of every day. Doing so will put yourself in the best position to see where you are in relation to your nutrition protocol. If I don't meet my nutrition protocol, that is to say I don't hit my macro targets, first of all, I don't beat myself up. It doesn't do any justice, and it just puts you in a negative framework. Instead, all I do is take about 10 minutes to acknowledge it, evaluate it, and make the necessary adjustments. The objective is to put yourself in the best position to hit your nutrition targets the subsequent day. And you can't really do that effectively if you go into it with a negative framework. So 10 minutes or less, that's all it really takes.
There's another substance that helps.
Steroids are taken 8 or 9, 10 weeks before competition. It's not a healthy thing to do, but it's being used.
Did you take them?
I take them. Yeah.
Fat burners, whey protein, casein, creatine, BCAAs. Which supplements should you use? First and foremost, it's important for you to know that you don't necessarily need any supplements in order to render good results. So if you don't have access to any supplements, it's not the end of the world. Just focus on effectively and efficiently implementing everything we've mentioned so far, and you will surprise yourself with the results you're able to render. Having said that, there are several supplements that can help you to reach your fitness goal. For the sake of time, I'll just throw it up on the screen. Here is a screenshot. These are some of the main supplements that I used. I can go more in depth with other supplements that I use in another vlog. So if that's something you would like to see, just let me know in the comment section down below. Bottom line, the big takeaway when it comes to supplement is the fact that they can be beneficial. However, your training and your diet should be priority, because ultimately those are two most important factors that will help you to transform your body and render good results, crushing your goal at hand.
I've been on the end of many defeats in my life, and I've rose back, so I will not shy away from it. I will not make excuses for it. I will assess it and then come back.
By effectively implementing the steps mentioned so far, you put yourself in the best position to continue to see progress in terms of weight loss throughout the course of your program. Now, if there's a complete halt to your overall progress, that is to say your average weekly weight completely stalls for a minimum of 2 to 4 weeks, then you've possibly hit a plateau. At this point, the first thing you'd want to do is revisit the previously mentioned objective data. That is to say, both your training and diet that you should have on record via some sort of log, whether that be electronic or hard copy, at the very least written down in some sort of notebook. The motive in reviewing these logs is pretty much checking to see if the overall adherence is where it should be. In other words, it's making sure you're not underscoring any part of your workout or diet. This is where the help of a coach can come in handy. A good coach can objectively decipher whether there's a lack of adherence to the program at hand, or you've just hit a new maintenance point where your energy output and intake are equal on an ongoing basis. If it's the latter, you can either drop your energy intake, bump up your energy output, or do a combination of both, which should help you to override the plateau and continue to see progress. What's also super important to note is that minimal to no change in your weight throughout the week is completely normal. It's a normal part of the fat loss journey. So it's important for you not to immediately jump to plateau speculation before honing in on the previously mentioned objective data. Even more importantly, don't let this stop you from moving toward your goal. The irony about plateaus is the fact that it is a part of your ultimate end goal. That is to say, a long-term plateau at the desired weight loss goal you have in mind.
And I made a change. And like my mentor Joel Salatin said, there is no change without a change of routine. One of the changes of routine you might need to make is the change that I had to make.
The 3 biggest things that will inevitably deter you from following through with your goal at hand are making excuses, rationalizing, or falling short with your overall accountability. The truth is, you'll be hard pressed to find anyone who's achieved extraordinary results without an accountability partner. The easiest way to establish a cadence for accountability is finding an accountability peer or mentor who has the tools or resource necessary to help you cut your learning curve and crush your goal at hand. Accountability at the highest level will come from a coach who's done what you're trying to do or even help people to achieve the results you're trying to achieve. It's a sure way to maximize your performance and learn how to become better over time. There's literally no reason for you to try and reinvent the wheels, especially when you can simply expedite the process. At the very least, you can increase your chances of following through by sharing your progress with someone regularly. And I hate to say it, but people often underscore the fact that there's work involved. Like anything worthwhile in life, greatness takes time. So be patient with yourself, and that's the magic pill. Work smart, work hard, and be objective in closing the room for marginal errors on a day-to-day basis. And I promise, you'll surprise yourself with the results you're able to render and what you're able to accomplish.
And it drives me crazy when people say they don't have enough time to go to the gym for 45 minutes a day and work out, or to do something for 45 minutes to an hour a day to improve. Imagine you read 1 hour a day, how much you will learn after 365 hours.
Bonus, for those of you who stuck around, I sincerely hope you found some sort of value in this video. If you did, please let me know down below. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. As previously mentioned, I do have bonus material for you guys. So the bonus material is pretty much a blog that I created to complement this video. It essentially has every single important part of this video, as well as extra content, such as more overview on my training, diet, free meal samples of exactly what I ate for this body transformation, the macro counts for each meal, the 24-hour energy expenditure or calorie calculator that I mentioned, and a lot more material and resource that I'm sure will help you to put a dent into your fitness journey. So don't miss out. Head over, check out the Kinetic blog. I'll leave the link in the description for that. And that's pretty much all she wrote. Listen, I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, if there's anything that I didn't cover in this vlog that you'd like to see, let me know down below. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know down below and I'll get back to you ASAP. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Until next time, peace.